You guys, this is so crazy. I have so many stories to tell you, but first of all, thank you for joining us because there is a notion that because we're both two mom duos, we have to hate each other. You know what I mean? It's like we can't get along because we're both mom duos. And I have to tell you two stories. When we were on tour, there was a city we went to, and they go, "Oh my God, we loved your first show."
First, can you describe these?
I believe
They were so excited to see us.
they were so excited, and they were like, "We've been to your first show here.
We had so much fun with you guys.
We decided to come back for VIP." And then we look at each other and we're like, "We've never been to this city before." They don't know. I go, "They think we're I Mom So Hard. They're at the wrong fucking show." And we were dying, and we were just like this. Welcome back. We had no idea what to do, and we were like, "Oh my God, dead,
thank you so much. Thank you."
We did not. We were like, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" They really changed those two.
They really changed the show.
That's not what we came for. And they were older, bless their hearts. But we travel with strippers, and I was a little bit concerned that
they'd be surprised.
Yeah, we have strippers in every show.
What?
And and I was a little bit nervous for them that they didn't sign up for the strippers. But anyways, we don't know what happened. We just went on with the show, and that was that.
They were like, "This show's so much better."
And then we went to your fucking hometown, and there was like a Facebook group that was like, "They're the worst. We don't like their," and then guys, it's hilarious because we walk into the theater and there's like 10 people, and I guess they were handing tickets out on the corner to like people, and there was like couples that were not our demographic, probably like 80 years old, and they walked in again, stripper show, but
wait, handing out tickets because we didn't sell.
Yeah, because we didn't sell any. And we walked in and we were like, it was so fucking funny. We were like playing to I don't know what. It was very entertaining. We were dying.
We have had this similar thing where was it in Vegas, where the entire front row was like 80-year-old, like what were they, like Ukrainian guys, and they were like this.
Yeah.
And I think they thought it was a stripper show.
Because the name.
Disappointed that it was.
I think they were like, maybe mom is hard. Maybe we'll.
Oh my gosh.
They give those tickets away, right? At the casinos, and you just see the front rows of everyone. You're like, "Oh my God. Oh my God."
Yeah, because they're high rollers, and they're like waiting for us to show them our boobs. And I don't think that's the boobs they signed up for, but I think
definitely not. No, I know. I love seeing them roll in with their cocktails.
Yeah, they come in.
But can I say, like, oh, sorry.
No.
I knew it was going to be this.
No.
Kristin and I talk over each other when there's like nobody else on the Zoom. So between the four of us, there's no way this is going to work out well, especially with like the delay. But so we always say, like, moms that come to our shows, and I'm sure your guys' shows too, they're just so desperate to get out of the house, to like get away from the kids, that like at some point we could probably step off the stage and they wouldn't even notice because they're having like so much fun with their friends. Like,
yeah, I would say, like, there's no way that mom's going back and relieving the babysitter without getting those 3 hours in. So like, she'll be like, "I'm sorry that Kristin and Jen couldn't show up, but I run a mean like barbecue, so we'll just keep this party going." And then
so you guys are so light years ahead of us that you actually are in LA. You moved from, like, we need to know,
tell us,
like, how you two met in you were friends in Nebraska before you moved to No,
let them tell us.
Oh no,
that's why
it's going like this.
Yeah, Kristin, you're better at this story than I am because you talk faster.
Well, so it is a story that like baffles people, which is super fun for us because we are both from Nebraska, but we did not meet there. We both moved out to LA at different times. And then we were both working in comedy, and we were both doing like improv shows. And one night my friend invited me to go to an improv show that he was in. And it was at this theater that used to be a salon, and they didn't have any money. So they literally just took the name off of the word before the salon and called it the salon. So it smelled like perm. And so you went in there and Jen was on stage. And I remember thinking two things. I remember thinking, gosh, she's so cute. And she's wearing interrupting. No. And sorry, they can't take a hint with the locked door.
I get why you
Don't
guys
be
do that
sorry.
in your car. So
Yeah.
smart. You lock the
They're
doors.
all inside.
All of them are inside.
That's the smart. Stop. Okay. So she was on stage and I remember thinking she was really cute. And I remember thinking like, cause I did improv as well. And I was like, why is she wearing so much jewelry? That's going to get in her way. Cause she had like bracelets and bangles. And I'm the opposite. I'm like t-shirt and Chuck Taylors so I can move. And then we went to, where did we go, Jen?
The parking lot.
Oh yeah. We went to the parking lot, had beers back to back. And my sister was talking and all of a sudden the word Nebraska came up and we both turned around and we were like, wait, you're from Nebraska? And then it was just the weirdest Rolodex of our lives. We are sure that we've been at the same parties. We're sure we know all the same people. We had all the same friends. It was just
It was meant to be.
Were you guys?
Yeah.
I got a few questions. Number one, are you the same age?
No, I'm 2 years older.
Okay, but did you grow up in any like the same neighborhood at all?
No, I grew up in a little tiny farm town in Nebraska, but I went to school in Lincoln. And Jen's from Bellevue, Omaha, outside of Omaha, and she went to school in Lincoln, but we went to the university together for a little while. But then Jen went to Wesleyan bougie private school.
Well, I accidentally got married in Vegas. It was short-lived. And my dad was like, if you want me to pay for college, you're going to go to this Christian lockdown school. So
Wait, how old were you when you got married in Vegas?
19.
Wow, that's juice.
They're like,
Okay,
Juicy, right?
I would love to have done that.
I know.
I mean,
No.
we're naughty in a little bit of a different way, but I mean, that's still naughty and fun. A
but
little bit.
that's very bad girl.
So bad girl.
then
So bad girl.
When you two moved to LA, were at that time where you were comedians and you were single?
oh yes.
Oh, so fun. And you had the balls to
No,
stand,
balls are
sorry,
not as
you had the
strong.
ovaries to stand up on a stage by yourself in front of a lot of people and just do improv. And improv means that they throw something at you and you just have to be funny.
Kind of, because you're not always funny, but they give the idea is like you're working with a team of 5, you've got a stage of people and it's a lot of fun, different like interactive games, but it is really terrifying. Thank you for saying that. It can be very scary, but it's also the biggest payoff when it works, like it's a really fun improv. People make fun of it all the time, but it is a place where an artist can sort of exist in LA and feel like they've got a little bit of a family or a home, because you are lonely and you are going through a struggle and you're really like pushing all the time, but you don't have to have a script. You don't have to think, you just show up and you have this fun time. And that's where Jen and I quickly figured out after we became friends that we loved being on stage together. Most of the time, all I did was laughed like an unprofessional asshole, but she made me giggle. And then we figured out like we had this friendship, but we also had this real chemistry as performers together. And I think that was something that came up later when we started I Mom So Hard.
Okay. And did either of you ever do stand-up comedy alone on a stage?
Yes.
I honestly think there's nothing
Guys,
more terrifying in the whole world.
I have to like get drunk before we go out. So when I go on tour, like we have no script
Oh my
before
God.
we just wing it when we go out. But that's because
I don't know how
we
you guys
we
do
have
that.
no like you guys are superheroes for like writing and being able to like
Making jokes.
making a show is very hard where we are like squirrel, but it works. The squirrel works. Maybe who knows, but it's really hard. Comedy is like planned comedy is very hard, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I burned my first time.
What?
I excuse the term, shit the bed so bad on my first one that I didn't do it again for like 6 years. But then I love
No.
Yeah.
They say a lot of comedians they drink, like they're out, like they drink a lot and do drugs. Is that just so they can have the ovaries to get on stage and do it?
Perhaps.
Maybe. So the first time I ever did stand up like on my own, I was like 16, and it was we're old enough to, no, Kristin, don't punch me. That's why we're not together, because she'll punch me if I call her old or something. But they had dry laws in Nebraska. Do you guys even know what those are? Where they couldn't serve alcohol on Sundays?
Well,
we had to do
that in one of the city, like in North Carolina, I feel like.
Yeah.
So comedy club was smuggling it in.
Totally. But the comedy clubs couldn't serve alcohol on Sundays. So they would have like teens performing, which is how I got into it. I went with my friend Monty to a comedy club and then started doing it, but it was just because I was stupid and I didn't know to be scared. So
oh my gosh, you wrote the script, you wrote the jokes, you got up there and people laughed?
Yeah, it was shocking. Yeah.
I don't think many people know what it's like to be that vulnerable on a stage, especially by yourself, because they think like that, because even if it's not fun, like even if people don't laugh, you have to pretend they did and carry on. Yeah. So you have to like let something not hit you in the moment, because when you plan it, it's really vulnerable because you're sharing almost like yourself, but trying to be funny when it's not like, they're not laughing at you. They're laughing at your material that you're writing. When I feel like a lot of people laugh at us, not at you know what I'm saying? Like, well, it's a really,
I think you internalize any of that. Like for me, when I went up my first time, I was unprepared. I did not have stuff written. I took an opportunity because it came up, and then I had to host the rest of the show. So I went up, I shit the bed. Can I cuss?
Yeah, yes. Y'all over here.
Okay.
Oh my, you can say shit, goddamn it, motherfucker, whatever you want.
Thank you. You sounded Canadian, actually.
Yeah. So I did a terrible job, and then I had to stay for the rest of the comedians and bring them up and take them down, and I was bad at it. So it was like, I've never cried harder in my car. But then I was like, well, this is just not my time with stand-up. And for me, stand-up is all about a point of view. And I just was I was hustling in LA, and I wanted to be with friends. It's a very isolating lifestyle. So I was like, I'm just going to wait until it's right for me to do this again. And then the next time I did it, I was prepared. I had a great set and I had a great time. And I was like, well, now I'm hooked. And then that was my first show back. And then the next show Jen and I played was for 1,000 people. So I did 5 minutes in front of 30 people and then an hour and a half in front of 1,000 people within 3 months of themselves. So
wow.
Do you like it?
So fun. And now I love it. I want to do it forever. I think it's so fun.
Do you never want to do it alone again? Like, do you just love doing it together, or could you also do it alone?
I mean, right now, like we love doing it together. It's really special and different. And you guys know this, like when you have like a teammate and someone that you love and care about, and you're on that stage, you think differently. And I think that's something that I love having with Jen. Like you feel like you're like, if you drop a line, she's got your back. If she drops a line, I've got her back. Usually she's remembering everything, but it's really nice to feel like you've got this support and also someone you want to show up for. Does that make sense? You guys get it.
Totally. Do you guys ever?
No, tell us, Jen.
Well, it's not my podcast, but we haven't had guests yet.
Girl, you guys have to know, nothing is ever, we're not planned people, and everything's a conversation. So it is absolutely, you're on here. It is a shared podcast. We don't do questions. We're just nosy. That's all it is. That's how we get questions. That's it.
Thanks.
That's what I was going to ask, is because so we do 2 parts of the show that are improvised, and sometimes it ends up, we'll tell the same story again or something like that, because we go through mom bags, and then we'll do like a Q&A thing. But the idea of doing an entire show, do you guys write down like what you're going to talk about or anything? Like, how do you?
I mean, the segments are broken up into like, you know, where we're going to be sitting and what
Sometimes,
and who's going to be on the stage potentially with us. But you know, maybe we'll have like an overarching like theme, but it usually is based on whatever comes out of our mouth. And then the two of us could literally talk for 2 hours. We have to be stopped and look at the timer and say, we got to stop talking.
You guys know this, and we say this about the community. You can, so you know that sometimes they want, because we have a DJ on stage with us too. So we have a DJ, so very much we try to give like a girls' night out, but you can feel the energy of the crowd when you walk in. And sometimes, I mean, we were in Calgary and we at like halfway,
exactly what you said before,
they were on their chairs and they were screaming and we were trying to talk. And I had to look at the DJ and be like, fuck it, we're going to party. And he just cranked the music and it became like a rave. And then in Minneapolis, it was silent and we had to sit and they just wanted to hear us literally talk. So you all know how you feel it right away, whether
sometimes it has to be like a bit naughtier and sometimes it has to be a little more sentimental, but it's like you look at their faces and you know what they need.
Yeah.
But do you guys, I know that you do your tour and you sell your tickets. Do you guys ever go back to like the small clubs and just like how comedians do?
Yes, we are doing that currently. We're about to go on our next tour. We start in September. If you want tickets, go to IMOMSOHARD.com. And
of course,
but we've been doing, we'll give you guys tickets. I'm just saying if the listeners want to come to the show, we'll link it all for them too, for sure.
I can't wait to come to one of your shows.
It's a lot of fun. We have worked really hard on this one because, as you know, like not everybody wants to talk about the pandemic too much, but you got to talk about it a little bit, but you don't want to. So we've just been figuring it out and trying to make it a party and trying to make it light. And we have been going into small clubs to test the material, which it's back to what you said. Like when you go test something, you're literally going, I don't know if this is funny to anybody else. And when it is funny to somebody else, you're like, yes. And when it is not funny, it feels like I'm like, it's 45 minutes until I say my next line. Do you know what I mean? You're like,
yeah.
I thought it was funny. Now I'm going to wait here in pain and rethink my life. And then in 45 minutes.
Did you guys watch the Friends, and where Chandler, he would say a joke. And if it fell flat, all the writers would have to go and rewrite the joke in the moment and they wouldn't execute the joke.
Watch that.
And then they would go back and try it again until they were laughing. And he was so impacted by people not laughing that he almost couldn't get over
to his unfortunate time with some substance abuse and whatnot. But I think it can take a chip out of you. You can sort of like you get on a loop in your head about well, if I would have done it that way, you have to learn how to go, oh, that just didn't work. I had entire sections in the show that I was like, oh God, but then it started to work. And the parts that work are really surprising too.
You guys, I don't know if you also know, we had the same bus driver, Roy. We did after you, and you all crazy motherfuckers took your kids and husband on the tour bus.
We need to know what that was like.
And then my mother.
Natalie has a great big fear of shitting on the bus. Okay. Like it paralyzes her at nighttime. And Roy was like, don't worry. One of their kids shit on the bus. It wasn't that big of a deal. You guys,
I have IBS. I am all day long. I'm thinking about because at home I'll just sometimes shit my pants, sometimes have to run the red light to get home. But on the bus, there's no fucking around. So I wasn't going to be the one to shit on the bus.
How'd that go, y'all, with the kids on the bus?
It seems kind of fun.
No,
a little bit.
Jen, you talk about this.
Well, parts of it were really fun. The whole thing was we taped pool noodles around everything because my daughter was 1.5. She turned 2 when we were on the road. She was in bottles, she was in diapers, and God love my super angry husband had to find vitamin D milk like every time we rolled into town because we were always out of it. We had like huge suitcases.
We went
And then
city to city to city. We never had a 2-day stay. So it was get off the bus, get on the bus, get off the bus.
And you guys are working full time, and everyone, if you're not on tour, it's a grind. Like it's a grind. It's fun, but you're not waking up and going on vacation in each city. You're grinding.
No.
Yeah.
No. And so Eleanor, Dashiell and my son and Eleanor, her daughter, are the same age. So they were 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
two 4s and a 6.
Yeah. So Finn was 6. So he had to carry all the suitcases. He was the oldest. He grew up really fast. And then we had like my sister-in-law came with us, Kristen's mom, for a while, but it was like, we really thought that like Roy would like
kill us.
It was a lot, but he was like this grandpa to the kids. Like they loved him so much. Like he was awesome.
Like sat in the front with him for like one day, like 6 hours, and they just rode together. Roy was driving and Finn was like his co-pilot, and he was happy as ever. So yes, we told the kids that if they pooped on the bus, the police would come.
Yeah.
We just wanted to ensure that they did not do it, right? So, I mean, when they peed in the bathroom, the bus is moving. So they already,
and there's carpet. It's like there's carpet. Is there carpet? Yeah. No, maybe there's not carpet, but it's not the biggest space.
Right. It's so when Finn, it was like the last.
I saw him come out of the bathroom. I was in the bathroom and I saw his face and I was like, he pooped. Yeah.
And Finn goes, and he was so scared and he was like, I pooped in the bathroom. I pooped on the bus. And I go, what's going to happen? And then our bus just reeked. It was just, because that's the whole thing about the septic tank underneath, and it like lights it on fire. So I'm sure we were smelling like White Lion's crap from like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I was curious, like if you're like famous and a celebrity, like you have a bus, you can shit on the bus. And who are those showers for? How come we don't get water? Like who can poop and who can shower? Because there definitely wasn't any of us.
We had a bus. We were not celebrities on a bus. We were basically like crew. So they did not have that kind of status. We had our faces were on the bus, which was hilarious. We had this big, it was like us on the side of a bus, which looked so dope. But when you went inside, it was literally like covered in pool noodles and everybody got pink eye. It was the most disgusting.
Would you do it? Would you do it again? Would you do it again with them?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I would, because they're older and they get along so well with each other. They're able to play more because,
But why?
What would they do during the day?
Why would you bring them though? For what? For fun? Like, because an experience?
Yeah.
They loved it, you guys. They loved it so much. Like the older ones, they talk about how fun it was and they want to like go back because all they want to do is like spend time together. We call them California cousins because we don't have family out here. So it's like they see each other's cousins as Aunt Kristin, and I'm Aunt Jen. And so the more time they get together, the better. And then mom guilt, stupid mom guilt, like having them like they lose all their teeth when you're gone, or they like, go through like some emotional change while you're gone.
Or find all your vibrators and line them up on a play date and daddy walks in and finds that. That's that too,
Yeah,
I'm impressed you have so many. That's
but you guys know it's from
partnerships. So I have like 15 from bigger to smaller, from like giant ones to small ones and they lined them all up like and thought they were like 8. And my husband's like, do I tell the mom they're playing with vibrators all afternoon?
That would be an awesome.
I'll figure it out.
Leave it with me. It's okay.
Hey. What's it like living in LA?
LA gets crapped on all the time but I have to say, like, LA's a really fun city. It's so expensive, but it's so fun to be able to go to the mountains and then go to the ocean and then go to a different part of the desert and go, like, there's so much appeal to LA, but it is fast paced. I miss the Midwest a lot. I think we both do now that the kids are getting older, and we're like, oh man, we're gonna have California kids. Like, kind of thought like they'd be running around on a farm.
Are your husbands from California? Both of your husbands are from California. From yours is from Texas.
Yes.
And you from no, Jen, where's yours from?
New York.
How did they get there? Why are they there?
My husband's in the comedy world too. So I, like a Nora Ephron film, met him at a dog park, several years ago. And he had really dumb, like, Oakley sunglasses on. That's the thing I was going to say about LA is, like, everything that's hard in life, you have to, like, multiply it by 3. Like, you're going to be older when you have kids. You're going to be older. Like, it's so hard to meet somebody. You'd think it'd be easy to meet somebody because there's a lot of people, but
grinding.
Yeah. So I met this guy at the dog park, and it took him a month to, like, ask for my phone number. He asked for my email, finally emails me and invites me to a party. And I'm like, obviously I'm going to have to sleep with him right away just because he's too slow of a mover. So fast forward.
Do they get along? I know everyone asks you guys that. Do they get along?
They get along.
Yeah.
Our husbands get along better than any of them, because they have a love of the sport. So they love every sport there is, and they can talk in shorthand to each other. And when we're filming the videos, Britt is our director. That's Jen's husband, and my husband's our producer. So so sometimes they get bored of us and they start having side convos or showing each other their phones, like look who scored on the New York Jets or whatever. Yeah. And then we're like, then we will stop and we'll be like, it's hilarious. They fist bump each other when we're doing bits, like when we're talking about them.
We would not be married if our husbands were producing and directing us. Just so you know, we would not be still together.
Do you so you're able, because if when you put them in a position to be directing and producing whatever, that they'll give you feedback.
Yeah.
I assume you can accept their feedback
and then sleep with them at night.
Well, let's break it down. Hold on.
Break it down. Break it down.
I don't know how Pound Town fits into that.
I'll say, like, our husbands are both like, they're not 1950s dads. They're, like, super involved with the kids, and they're like, they believe kind of in what we're doing. Cause I think, like, neither one of them, like, knew what the life of a woman or a mom was until we, like, screamed it at them so many times, that they're, like, understanding of it. So whenever there's something that we're scared to do, like the quintessential video for us was when we did our swimsuits video, and we were so embarrassed to do it. And they both watched it and they said, you have to do this. Like, you have to, like, show like, that everybody feels the same, that everybody's, like, kind of scared and self-conscious and stuff like that. They're super supportive about it. They also say really stupid things too. So there's a win sometimes.
Well, I think what they also do is they know, like, it's really easy to start complaining, right? Like, when something's hard, you start to complain. But for them, like, I think that's different in, like, guy voice. So, like, when we start to sound like we're complaining, they, like, we'll flip the script a little bit and go, like, well, like, go at this differently, like, do a mapping scene or go about this a different approach, because it's starting to sound complainy. And that challenges Jen and I, whiny, to change it, to change the scope and to change the way we are perceiving it, whether we do an act out as them or we do an act out as our kids. Like, it opens up our brain a little bit, because complaining is very easy. Whining is easy, and also nobody wants to hear it. Everybody's got their problems. So if we can find an approach that's a little bit different, then that feels like a win as comedians, and as we're trying to, like, come about this a different way. Cause you guys know, like I think moms get put into there's this box and it's like, gotta look like this certain thing. And there's so much more to every woman than just the fact she's had kids or hasn't had kids.
Yeah.
So we try to push that.
What's your husband's background? Like, why do you trust his opinion?
Cause I banged him and kids. That's so gross. So my husband's from Texas and he is kind of like me. He's like, he's an improviser, comedian, but he's one of the owners of the West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica. And we met doing improv for a school that I was a teacher at. So then once I saw how hot he is, I was like, well, we need to have rehearsals, just him and I, for the children. Right. And I was like,
For the
are they as funny as you guys? Are the guys as funny? Like, you know what I mean? Who's fun? Like, is that weird or no?
They're really funny.
Our husbands aren't funny. So
I think it's a weird thing. I think they're really funny. I would say that they give us a lot of fodder. Just in their own follies gives us a lot to work with. So like I can make fun of Jen's husband because he gives us stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're game and they're always open to being like part of the story. But we are lucky that like Colin was our director on the live show for our first one. And he was the one that kind of said
on the road.
On the road, he's like, you got to show your stomachs. You got to do it. You guys are talking about these stomachs, but you have these stomachs, but it's like Trotsky's gun. You've got to show it. And I was terrified. Wow. And then we did, and it became a really empowering moment to then not do it in a complaining way, but to do it like we make our stomachs like talk. And it was, the women are like totally disgusted and also totally empowered. And it feels great. They're not disgusted. No. They're shocked that we do it. Like,
there's a couple like probably Pilates teachers that are grossed out, I would say.
Yeah. Even the husbands were like, you're cool with it. Like the husbands at the end of the show, they're like, okay.
Wow.
Don't go get yourself some abs. No one will like that. That's not relatable.
Not a problem,
no.
lady. Not a problem.
I don't know if you guys, how long have you guys been doing your web series?
10 years.
10? Holy shite.
We started live streaming before live streaming was live. Like we used to do video before video capability was on websites, if you can believe that. They were like, we don't really do, because 10 years ago, live videos and videos were not a massive, really, we're just two best friends in a car with zero, like I was a social worker. She's like an entrepreneurial savant in everything with went to child and youth work. And our thing is really just like two best friends having private conversations in a public forum with no business being in this field other than the gift of over talking. That's all it is. And sharing. We were around when Pinterest was like at a pinnacle.
Yeah.
And we just did not, we swear we're naughty. I dropped out of high school. We used to get high together in high school in grade 10. And that's how we became best friends.
We would skip school, go to our mom's house, smoke joints and eat bagels with cheese.
We're every day. We're very not predictable.
But the moms at that time, because we would have opportunities with brands and stuff. They're like, can you write a blog? And we're like, no, we can do a video. And like, we don't know how to do that video on that thing. So we had to work around it. But the moms that we were seeing on the internet was what are those moms called? That were really good at Pinterest and cooking and
yes.
Who are they?
Like what do you mean?
What were they called?
Bloggers.
No, they were on YouTube and they had all the videos.
Oh, what's up, moms? What's up, moms?
Oh yeah.
Remember What's Up, Moms?
No.
They're in LA.
Remember one was married to the head of.
They do all craft videos.
Podcast.
What's Up, Moms?
Adam Carolla's
you guys.
Who?
Adam Carolla's wife. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh
no,
guys.
What does Adam Carolla do?
There's like 3 of them, and they literally do like jars and crap. Like,
and then one passed away during childbirth.
yes, it was terrible. I know there's my kids still watch them on YouTube, and they have kids now. But that was the pinnacle. And we were like, everyone's like, can you be like them? And then we try and the camera would go off and like, fuck. And then we went on the Disney Channel, or not Disney Channel, the Home and Family. And they're like,
seen what you do. Don't do any of that.
And we're like, oh, they're like, you need to be cleaner than Disney. And we're like,
talk about Mother's Day.
We're not like that. Okay. So it's been a lot. Like, yeah, we're all over the place.
How are you guys feeling about you're starting tour again in September? We are too, and we're getting so like we're just moving forward and we're marketing it and we're pushing it. We're
Delta's up our ass. Delta's all up our ass.
How are you feeling? Like, are you feeling nervous about this, or what's happening, ladies?
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
Because I mean, we're a little bit nervous about like, we've never been political about anything. We've always tried to like, that has like, we're not going to give mom advice. We're not going to like tell you how to make your own baby food or any of that.
And we're certainly not going to tell you how to vote, because that's not our the thing we care about. Like we're at a party, man. We don't want to talk about that shit. Like let that be crazy uncle.
So but it's been hard to navigate this, like to say like, go to a show, it'll be safe, it'll be fun. Cause we don't know, you know,
I know.
And
we're just going to follow whatever each city indicates as their guidelines and rules. And we know that we are vaccinated and that we follow the rules based on what we want to do. And like, that's as far as we're going to think about the outside world, but it is a weird place to be. It's a weird, and we're just so desperate to be out.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
We want to go do the thing. Like we don't want, it's like, God, can we just want to go
the thing.
Do the thing.
Life has to resume in some way, and we have to do it the best way we can. Otherwise, we're not doing, like, you know, we've
not doing anybody any favors. Yeah.
No, and you're right. I mean, we're in Canada, and you know, there's been not a lot. There's not really, the vaccine's not like it's not about politics. Like it's like you're not leaving the country and you're not coming in unless you are. So you know what, you choose what you want to do. Like, so it's very much like it's just different. But yeah, it is interesting to watch.
And then when we were in LA last week and we went to
Tom Tom,
obviously, because we're cheesy like that, and you know, we come to LA and we've got to go to Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant. It's Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant. Latest, she has, you know, she has Sir and she has Pump. Well, this is Tom Tom when she opened up with some of the actors. Yeah.
So all of our people are like,
myself, and Jen goes,
yeah.
They're like, you have
I wish you guys would have.
there was protesters outside because you can't get into her restaurants if you don't show proof of vaccination.
So we were in the middle of a protest and everyone's screaming. I'm like, what the?
Well, she's worried about her husband. I'm a big housewives person, so that's
because
basically that's the only. Yeah. Yeah, we have the same manager that she does. I have two of her dogs. Kristin has one of her dogs.
Oh,
wait,
you
like for real?
Rescue the dog.
Yeah.
You took the dog. Yeah. You took her dogs.
Look, they're not her
rescues from her rescue.
Well, yeah. From Vanderpump
I thought you took her dogs from her house.
Here, I might be like, hold on, I've got a Labradoodle I'd like to give you. Just kidding.
I would take one of her dogs from her house, and a swan maybe, and a miniature horse. I would absolutely do that. Like she's my idol.
She really put herself out there to be one of the first to say you can't come into my restaurant if you're not vaccinated.
Yeah, she's a tough bird. I mean, I think we're gonna just watch how people we just follow what other people are doing, and we're just like we're not scientists, we're moms. We want to keep everybody safe. We want to make sure that everybody's having a good time. There is a pull for the other side where you're like, we also need to get out and laugh and we need to be together, but we have to do everything safely. So we just had a conversation right before we jumped on with you guys about this, and we're kind of like, we're going to follow the city rules.
But
the rest is like, but then it's like, I just want us to go make people laugh. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I
And
know.
we remember, like, for both of our audiences, that we unite on one thing, and that's the feelings we have on motherhood, not about where we stand. Everyone does it differently, and
Totally.
everyone is doing what is so best for their kids because they believe in that. And we always try to remind people, rather than like fight each other, realize that no one wants to harm their children, and they're doing the best they know how. And that's all we can unite on, because if we start to divide over these issues, it's just going to set us all back as a community, rather than be like, you know what, we can connect on this. And this is what the shit show of motherhood we're all trying to navigate. And we don't need COVID to divide us further.
Agreed. Agreed.
I always say that we're all united, and that none of us wants to be the mom that leaves her kid in the car while she goes into the casino.
Did you do that?
No, I don't know why I laughed.
No, that's like our baseline. Everybody just wants to be above that, and then we're doing good, right?
That's pretty good.
Oh my God, you guys, we have taken enough of your time.
I'm so happy to finally like talk to you and meet you. It feels like we already know you, and you come across exactly like in the videos. There's nothing to surprise.
And now when we meet your fans on tour, we can say, you know what, we're not them, but we love them. We know them now.
We're actually really good
We're friends with them, and we'll try to give you a good time.
I wonder if they're like, why? Oh, wow, Kristin went blonde. You guys, it's very funny. That's a very, very, very funny story. We will repeat that story for sure.
So you guys, when you go on tour, are you doing the whole tour bus thing for this fall, or you fly in and out?
We'll fly in and out a little bit, because we're obviously, there's a lot of things we're trying to figure out. But then come December, right, Jen? Like December, January, we start that big leg of the tour where we are making up for all the shows that got canceled, and then we're adding on new shows. So 22 is going to be a big year for us and you know, we just hit the road a lot, but we are going sans kids. We will bring them to certain cities. Funny story real quick. We went to Detroit to do a show, and we stayed in a hotel that was next to a water park, and water park is a stretch for this place. It was barely a water park. And our kids talk about Detroit being a vacation destination all the time. So we will meet in Detroit, I'm sure.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
I'd love to get together. I feel like we could talk for like 16 hours.
And imagine we were drinking. It would be the best time ever. Well, when you guys come to Canada, are you guys doing Canada at all?
Do you come to Canada?
Yes, we are.
When?
I don't think the tour dates have been announced yet. Casey will know, but I know we're going to. Don't you all live in Toronto? Did I say it right? Did I say it like a Canadian?
Yeah, you're probably coming.
Toronto.
Are you probably coming to the Queen Elizababeth Theater?
Casey would have to confirm. I don't know. These are all dates that are still in flux.
Okay.
We're definitely doing Vancouver, and I think we've got one other show that's like pending, that's in more of the middle of the country. But by the way, we love going to Canada. Y'all have the best.
Winnipeg. Winnipeg, Calgary. Oh, guys, Calgary's wild. They're wild. So fun.
It's where I've had the best meal of my life, is Calgary.
Okay, good. Well,
figure that one out.
We'll be in LA soon, so we'll have to. LA's huge. I feel like when you go to LA, it's not like just going to somewhere. Like, it's huge. It's like you have to plan where you're going that day, and spend the day trying to get somewhere in LA.
We'll all hang out, and that'll be super fun. We'll drink wine.
Yes. Let us know, but we'll get Lindsay all the links, and then we can put them all in the podcast.
IMOMSOHARD.com for all your tour dates.
Dates, podcast, all of it.
Awesome. Guys,
thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang with us today.
You guys are so awesome.
Fun.
Well, it was lovely, finally, after all these years.
I know.
And guys, Martini now. Congrats on everything. It's super amazing. It's so fun to watch.
Congrats to you guys too. And we can't wait to go and see some man strippers.
I know.
Happy weekend, ladies.
Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys.